You know what's crazy? Most people wake up every morning, walk to that mirror, and think they're looking at who they really are. But the truth is, that reflection staring back at you, it's not the full picture. It's just a glimpse, a fraction of who you are right now, shaped by every decision, every experience, every wound, and every win you've had so far. But here's the problem. Too many of us get stuck seeing only what's wrong. We see the flaws, the mistakes, the failures. We see what didn't work out, who left us, where we fell short. We let that reflection define us, and then we start believing that's all we can ever be. But let me tell you something real. You are not your reflection. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are the result of your potential, the echo of your purpose, and the reflection of what you choose to believe about yourself. The mirror only shows what's on the surface, but it can't capture what's inside of you. The fire, the hunger, the dream that refuses to die. That's the real you. And until you start seeing that version, you'll keep living beneath your calling. It's not that life doesn't give you chances. It's that your vision of yourself is too small to recognize them. You've been conditioned to doubt your worth, to second guess your abilities, to play it safe because somewhere along the line someone told you that you weren't enough. Maybe it was a parent, a teacher, a friend, or even life itself whispering, you can't. But I need you to understand, every time you look in that mirror, you have a choice. You can either see what life told you to see, or you can see what you were meant to be. When you change the way you see yourself, everything around you begins to change. The energy you give off, the way people treat you, the opportunities that show up, they all start to align with your new self-image. Because the world doesn't respond to who you pretend to be. It responds to who you believe you are. You can't manifest greatness if you keep labeling yourself as broken. You can't attract abundance if you keep seeing yourself as lacking. The moment you start believing that you're more than what you see, that's the moment your transformation begins. And I get it. It's not easy. It takes courage to look at yourself differently when your past keeps screaming reminders of who you used to be. But you've got to silence that noise. You've got to look at yourself through the lens of growth, not guilt, through potential, not pain. When you shift your perspective, you'll start realizing that everything you went through wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to reveal you. You are becoming something greater. You are evolving, expanding, and stepping into the person you were always meant to be. The mirror can only show your reflection, but your belief, that's what reveals your destiny. You ever stop and really listen to that voice in your head? I'm not talking about what other people say about you. I'm talking about what you say about you. Because that voice, that quiet conversation happening inside your mind every single day is shaping the direction of your life more than anything else. Most people don't even realize it, but their own self-talk has been holding them hostage. They wake up in the morning already defeated, whispering to themselves, I'm tired, I'm not good enough, I'll probably mess this up again. And guess what? Life starts to agree with them. You see, your mind is always listening. Every word you speak about yourself plants a seed. Speak fear, and you'll grow more fear. Speak doubt, and you'll grow more doubt. But when you start speaking faith, confidence, power, your life begins to move in that direction. Because your words don't just describe your reality, they create it. Some of you are praying for change while cursing yourself with your own language. You say you want better, but your mouth keeps reinforcing the version of you that's stuck, small, and scared. You've got to take control of that inner voice. You've got to teach it to speak life even when life doesn't feel good. I'm not saying it's easy. Retraining your thoughts takes discipline. But if you want to grow, you've got to talk to yourself like you believe in the person you're becoming, not the person you used to be. Every time that negative voice tells you you can't, you answer it back, watch me. Every time it says you're not enough, you say, I'm more than enough. Because what you consistently speak becomes what you unconsciously believe, and what you believe becomes the life you live. I know you've had people doubt you. I know there have been moments when life made you question your worth. But let me be clear, you can't control what they say about you, but you can control what you say about you. And that's where the real power is. You can walk through the fire and still speak strength over yourself. You can be tired and still speak purpose. You can be broke and still speak abundance. Because speaking life isn't about ignoring reality. It's about refusing to let your current situation dictate your future. If you want to change your life, you've got to start changing your language. Stop saying, I can't, and start saying, I'm learning. Stop saying, I'm not ready, and start saying, I'm preparing. Stop saying, it's too hard, and start saying, it's building me. The words you use set the tone for how you move. And once you align your speech with your purpose, your actions will follow. So today, make a decision. Your voice will no longer be your enemy. It will be your weapon. Because when you start speaking with belief, conviction, and faith, the world will have no choice but to echo the power that's been living inside you all along. You can't live like a champion if deep down you still think like a victim. That's the truth most people don't want to face. They want success, they want freedom, they want peace, but they're still carrying the identity of someone who's been hurt, overlooked, or doubted. You can't step into your future while dragging around the mindset of your past. Before achievement ever shows up, identity has to shift. You've got to stop waiting for the world to validate you and start deciding who you are for yourself. Because until you do, everything you chase will feel temporary. See, the reason some people keep repeating the same patterns isn't because they lack effort. It's because they're operating from an old identity. They're trying to build a new life using the blueprint of who they used to be. You can't get to the next level using the same thinking that kept you at the last one. The person you want to become requires a different mindset, a new energy, a stronger belief. You've got to see yourself differently before life can treat you differently. It starts with asking yourself, who am I really? Not who the world says you are, not who your circumstances have made you, but who you choose to be moving forward. Because once you decide that identity, your actions begin to align with it. You start making choices that reflect your future, not your history. You stop chasing validation and start moving with conviction. That's where real power begins, not in the doing, but in the being. When you believe you are worthy, your energy changes. When you believe you are capable, your effort changes. When you believe you are chosen, your confidence changes. Everything starts inside. You don't get confidence from achievement. You get achievements from confidence. You don't earn worthiness by what you do. You express it because of who you are. The strongest people you know didn't start strong. They started certain. They decided who they were long before the world agreed. So if you're tired of going in circles, stop trying to fix your habits for a moment and start fixing your identity. Stop saying, I'm trying to become, and start saying, I already am. Speak from the place of where you're going, not where you've been. See, when you identify as someone disciplined, you'll start acting disciplined. When you identify as someone successful, you'll start moving like success is already in your DNA. Life always follows belief. The world will never give you what you haven't already given yourself in your mind. You can't attract abundance while seeing yourself as lacking. You can't attract love while believing you're unworthy of it. You can't attract success while still identifying as the underdog. The shift happens the moment you realize you don't have to earn your identity. You just have one of the biggest reasons people never truly see their potential is because they keep comparing their chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. They spend more time looking at other people's progress than appreciating their own. And I get it. It's hard not to compare when you're surrounded by highlight reels. When everywhere you look, it feels like someone's doing better, living bigger, achieving faster. But you've got to understand, comparison is a thief. It steals your gratitude. It steals your focus. And worst of all, it steals your peace. When you compare yourself to others, you lose sight of your own journey. You start thinking something's wrong with you because your timeline looks different. You start rushing, forcing, pretending, trying to match a version of success that doesn't even belong to you. But here's the truth. Your timing is not broken. Your path is not delayed. You are right where you need to be. Every step, every setback, every moment of doubt, it's all a part of your becoming. You've got to stop treating your journey like a race and start seeing it as a masterpiece in progress. The moment you stop measuring your worth against someone else's life is the moment you free yourself to grow at your own pace. You can't bloom while you're busy staring at someone else's garden. What's meant for them is theirs, and what's meant for you is waiting for you to claim it. But you'll never see it if you're too distracted by their success. You'll never hear your own calling if you're tuned in to everyone else's noise. You've got to remind yourself that success is not a competition. It's a revelation. It's about discovering who you were created to be and walking boldly in that truth. The person you're meant to become isn't built by comparison. It's built by consistency. Every time you choose to stay focused on your growth, every time you choose gratitude over jealousy, every time you celebrate someone else without questioning your own worth, you're winning. Because real confidence doesn't come from being better than someone else. It comes from becoming better than you used to be. The only person you need to compare yourself to is who you were yesterday. That's it. Are you growing? Are you learning? Are you healing? If the answer is yes, then you're already ahead. Stop chasing validation. Stop needing to prove yourself. You don't have to be like them. You just have to be like you. And when you fully embrace that, when you realize that no one else can walk your path or carry your purpose the way you can, everything changes. You start moving differently. You stop rushing. You stop doubting. You start trusting that your story is unfolding exactly the way it should. Because comparison is noise, but purpose, it's peace. And the day you stop comparing is the day you finally start becoming. You know, too many people spend their whole lives running from their past, pretending it didn't happen, trying to erase the parts that hurt the most. But what if I told you that the very thing you're trying to hide might be the key to unlocking your future? Your story, every failure, every heartbreak, every disappointment wasn't meant to define you. It was meant to refine you. The pain you went through wasn't a punishment. It was preparation. Everything you've been through had a purpose, even when you couldn't see it in the moment. The problem is, most people never rewrite their story. They just replay it. They left stuck in that one chapter that broke them, never realizing they have the power to turn the page. They talk about what went wrong instead of what they learned. They hold on to shame instead of strength. But you've got to make a decision to stop letting your past be your prison and start letting it be your platform. You are not what happened to you. You are what you chose to become because of it. There's power in taking control of your narrative. When you start owning your story instead of avoiding it, you take back your power. You stop being the victim and start being the author. You stop saying, why me? And start saying, thank you. Because every scar, every setback, every painful moment, it was building something inside of you that comfort couldn't. It was giving you resilience. It was shaping your perspective. It was teaching you empathy. You wouldn't have the same strength, the same hunger, the same heart if you hadn't gone through what you went through. And that's the beauty of it. Your story doesn't lose its power just because it's messy. In fact, that's what makes it real. That's what makes it relatable. People don't connect with perfection. They connect with authenticity. The world doesn't need more people pretending to have it all together. It needs people who are bold enough to say, I've been there, but I didn't stay there. When you tell your story from a place of victory instead of victimhood, you give others permission to believe that they can rise too. Don't be ashamed of where you've been. Be proud of how far you've come. Every chapter, even the dark ones, led you here. You can't rewrite the beginning, but you can always change the ending. And when you do, you turn your story into something powerful, something that inspires, something that heals, something that matters. So stop running from your past. Face it, own it, rewrite it, because your story isn't over. It's just beginning. And this next chapter, it's the one where you stop surviving and finally start living. Most people go through life thinking they're just a character in someone else's story, like life is something that happens to them instead of something they have the power to create. They wake up, go through the motions, react to whatever the day brings, and wonder why nothing ever changes. But here's the truth. You are not the character. You are the creator. You hold the pen. You decide how the story unfolds from this moment forward. The life you live is not written by chance. It's written by choice. Every decision, every thought, every belief is a brushstroke painting the picture of your future. But the problem is too many people have given away their creative power. They let fear design their path. They let doubt hold the pen. They let circumstances write their identity. Then they look up one day and realize they've been living someone else's version of their life, doing what they were told to do, being who they were told to be, and wondering why it doesn't feel right. You've got to take that pen back. You've got to decide that from this moment on, you're not just existing, you're creating. It starts with how you see yourself, because the way you see yourself determines the kind of life you build. If you see yourself as powerless, life will always feel heavy. But if you see yourself as powerful, suddenly you start realizing that you don't have to wait for change. You can become it. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity. Every failure becomes feedback, and every limitation becomes a lesson. You stop seeing life as happening against you and start seeing it as happening for you. That's when everything shifts. You don't need permission to become who you were meant to be. You don't need someone to validate your dream or approve your vision. You've already been given everything you need. The power, the creativity, the potential, it's all inside of you. You just have to believe it enough to act on it. And yeah, it's scary to take control. It's uncomfortable to stop blaming others and start building yourself. But comfort never creates change. Creation does. So start designing the life you want to live. Speak it, visualize it, and move like it's already yours. Create habits that match your vision. Surround yourself with people who remind you of where you're going, not where you've been. Stop waiting for the right time, because there is no right time. There's only right now. And right now you have a choice. You can stay the character that life keeps pushing around, or you can become the creator who decides how the story ends. The pen is in your hand. The next chapter is waiting. And the world is about to see what happens when you finally realize you were never just living life. You were building it.